as the 25-pounder there for the Cyclones, and you know, a lot of competition at that weight class here this year, and returning All-American coming back, and Tyson taking his, I think, his last year of eligibility here to go ahead and be with at North Carolina.
He's from Hawaii. Tirakina, as you saw, ranked 13th in the country, 125, a crazy weight class. Vincent Robinson ranked #1, the reigning national champion. Luke Lillidahl of Penn State ranked 2nd. Nick Bouzakis has been fantastic for Ohio State. Eddie Van Treska and Sheldon Seymour rounding out the top 5. Good level change there from Tirakina. Jim, you talked about the date of this tournament. Why do you like the date of this tournament?
You know, Shane, you get your guys back sometime after Christmas, usually 26th or 20. We always came back on the 26th, you know, and you know, they just finish up with their finals usually in, you know, a week or so ahead of that, and you have them and giving them about a 4 or 5 day break, and then some of those guys are going to take that a little bit better than others. But I would say this is that coming back at this point in time, January 3rd, I mean, it's a great time to have a tournament like this. I'm surprised, you know, the more teams aren't bringing their lineups in here to something like this that has, you know, this type of exposure. You can get some good competition in, but you've also had enough of a period of time to be able to prepare for it, okay? It's tough when you have that 27th, 28th, 29th time frame in December right after a break. This January 3rd, week later, gives you a great opportunity to prepare.
Joe Kelvin from Bellarmine scoring the first takedown on Joey Cruz of Iowa. 45 seconds first period.
Joey Cruz is a guy that got a lot of competition in there last year at 125, and giving up that first takedown. See how he responds to that.
Joey Cruz, a national qualifier for Iowa a season ago. And then Dean Peterson came to Iowa City from Rutgers. 3-1 score, 25 seconds left.
Yeah, Cruz is one of those guys going to take a lot of forward pressure. He's going to go ahead and get those collar ties with underhooks and things like that allow him to go ahead and stuff the head. Here he is right now, stuffing the head in that front headlock position.
Out of high school, Cruz spent his first college wrestling season in Norman with the Sooners. His 3rd season in Iowa City, about a 500 record a year ago. 5-3 this season.
Period ends. And of course, a little bit different than dual meets here. They'll go ahead and flip the coin, and looks like Cruz got his choice. He'll go ahead and take down. Actually, I think it showed up red, so I think he didn't get the choice. It was deferred to him.
There's a caution on Kelvin. Was Santa Claus good to you?
You know, Santa Claus was really good to me, right? He needed to be, because I married off one of my daughters, okay, as you well know. You were there.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah,
last Saturday.
Just got done talking to him. No, cradle there by Calvin. His near side cradle. It's pretty tight.
He's got it locked up.
Trying to bring that left knee, slide that left knee under the ankle. Now he's got it in great position here. He's going to walk around the head here, and actually it steps across. He's getting the angle there. This is huge here. 4-point move. It's tough to hold on to this. See where the grip is there, Shane, right at the knee? That's really difficult to go ahead and pin a guy from that position, because you don't have as much leverage and pressure up on the shoulders. You like to move that grip up there by the neck as you're adjusting.
It's a 4-point near fall off that cradle, and escape by Cruz. A straight-on shot right into the hips of Calvin. 7-2 score, 1:15 remaining here in the second period.
Quad box going here now as far as the action goes. What a great thing that the people can go ahead and watch each match here. That's high level. And this arena, Extreme Arena, and the people that we've been here several times here. I've been here for high school events. I mean, their commitment to the sport of wrestling has been fantastic.
Arena looks great.
Single leg there by Cruz up there in the upper right hand part of your screen, and he's able to not quite get the takedown.
Josh Schomburger and his staff do so much for wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, like we've seen what the Ono Lee, like I said before, the high school dual meet.
Who's number one they had?
Who's the high school dual meet tournament that they do for Iowa high school athletics, and is really solid.
Donnybrook is here.
Yeah. Of course, the women's matches. It's women's state, the girls' state freestyle tournament, not the freestyle tournament, the girls' state wrestling tournament is here as well.
There on your bottom left is Logan Graff and Blake Beasel. Third period action on mat number 5, that is bottom left. The Jackrabbit up by 1. Bottom right, that is Kean Hernandez of Iowa, he trails. Carson Duple of South Dakota State. Now that's a 1-1 match on mat number 6. Minute and a half remaining.
Like I said, the tournament's here on 6 mats. Being able to go directly to those mats, and you can kind of follow this long. Shane's on the Soldier Salute website here, and that's with track wrestling through Flow.
30 seconds riding times, 30 seconds.
Mat number 4, Jim, that is a 10-9 match. 10-9 match on mat number 4, third period. Blanchard and Stinson. Blanchard of North Dakota State leading it 10-9, 30 seconds left.
It should be 8-5 and it should be 104.
I can't tell who's in the top position here, Shane.
I believe that is...
Greg should have 8 because he got an escape.
Let's see, Jim, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. That is North Dakota State on top. You see the green bison headgear. That is a final. Blanchard wins it.
With a riding time point as well.
Finishes that third period on top. And he gets the riding time point, as you mentioned, 11-9. At 20 points on the scoreboard between those two. Calvin up on Cruz, 8-5. Now make it 9-5. Still 60 seconds left.
And with the 3-point takedown, you can make this up pretty quickly. So, see the blocking going on right there. Cruz trying to go ahead and get through that head-hands defense, and as he circles back to the backside here, he can move off and maybe get a stall call.
The Hawkeye Hernandez victorious on mat number 6. Quick shot there from Joey Cruz, trying to suck up a single leg.
Comes back in inside trips there, wasn't able to go ahead and drive through, just had to get his feet moving a little bit better on that one.
There's a stall call on Kelvin. Cruz gave up the first takedown, and then in the second period, gave up 4 near fall on a cradle. And that's been the difference. Good job there from Kelvin. Works an underhook, circles back to the inside.
Kind of dropped down right there, and then after Cruz made contact with him, circled back in. Finds himself with the rear end to the edge again.
There is Kyson Tarakina, now of North Carolina, victorious, and it's a final on 3. Joe Calvin of Bellarmine with the decision.
A big 125-pounder.
On mat number 4, Nasir Bailey of Iowa, Easton Hilton of Missouri. Nasir Bailey in his first season in that black Hawkeye singlet, coming over from Arkansas Little Rock, where he was an All-American for head coach Neil Ersman.
A shuck attempt there by Bailey. Yeah, he's, I guess you'd say, one of the few starters that we'll probably see here today. from the Iowa lineup. And guy that's really powerful and really good in the top position as well. He's had some big wins against really quality, some All-Americans here by just his work in the top position. Guy with the strong grip. Puts the leg in right there, should collect the points, but now Hilton turns right back into him here, and that's a nice job. Now he's got a bear hug of his own. Doesn't really follow it through too much with the lift right there. It looked like he had a little bit, looks like he had those hips trapped, but didn't, tried to go for the hip over and the hip toss rather than just basically picking up and lifting him and adjusting from there.
He was 4th at the national tournament in 2024, last season round of 16. Off to a 6-3 start this season. No score, 121st period with Bailey and Hilton. Bailey at the national duels lost to Sergio Vega 3-0 in sudden victory. And remember in that match, Nasir Bailey had that single leg. Somehow Vega, with the great defense, ultimately scored off that and won that match with a scramble. And then Jesse Mendez in the national duel final beat Bailey 17-1. Lost to Anthony Echemendia from Iowa State 15-2. So figuring things out, yet he's got plenty of time.
He does have plenty of time, and the thing about what you're mentioning here is that a lot of his his credentials came at 133. As he's moved up to 141, the advantage of that, of course, should be a little more active here, just because you're not cutting as much weight. You've got the energy level up. It's not 2-hour weigh-in. Probably doesn't mean very much to him since he's moved up weight. But looks like he's adjusted into the weight pretty well. He's a stocky man. He's got good leg strength. I'm sure the staff would like to see him kind of be a little bit more offensive. Great more attacks out there, and he's had 2 good shots. 99% of the way of finishing one of them, and quickly finished on the other.
In the corner for Hilton, national champion Kendrick Maple alongside national champion Keegan O'Toole. And I believe that is Ryan Morningstar and Tom Brands in the corner for Bailey the Hawkeye, who will go on bottom here in this third period. He leads it, or second period rather. He's up 3-1. Riding time at 30 seconds.
Good switch type position right there. Nice job. You try to get off the man's hips. You can see where Hilton likes to worm that leg in right there. He's got the legs locked and actually moved off of the leg lock into elevating the far knee, right? Trying to go ahead and collapse that right arm of Nasir Bailey. In order to do that, now he drops down to a wrist, but in order to do that, you got to get a drive leg going with like your right leg, and there's no power there to collapse that arm.
Nasir Bailey, as you mentioned, Jim, coming up from 133. This is the second season for Hilton at 141. He began his career at 149. There's Morningstar and Brands.
So a guy who has some size to him.
This time of year, Jim, as a coach, what are you paying extra attention to? What are you looking for in these first couple weeks of January?
Well, you're looking for guys that have come back that you've had some taste of that because you spent some time with them after Christmas, and you're going to see that the true dedicated guys that have come back in shape, ready to go, ready to practice hard. You've seen evidence of that. That's like, I always like getting my hands on the guys, a day or two after Christmas and working your way through that. So I'm sure, like Iowa's had some really hard practices here, got the rust blown out, so to speak, if there has been any rust collected. But you're looking for guys that sometimes it's real difficult the first time you get back into competition. This competition's a little bit different. But get you guys warmed up, looking for guys that are getting on the attack in these competitive situations. You see Bailey at the edge of the mat trying to get his head up underneath that leg.
Great flexibility there from Hilton. And now here's Nasir Bailey looking for a reversal and get the escape. Adds to his lead 4-1.
going back to your question, Shane, is just like, what are you looking for? Man, this isn't any different than what Thursday night, Thursday morning of the national tournament would look like. You got to come out and anymore for some of these weight classes, particularly at 141. You know, those got savages all the way through that thing. You're going to see good competitive matches, particularly for somebody like Bailey who hasn't been off to the fastest start. You got to start hard. You might, you know, collect somebody who's a top 5 seed, you know, top 4 seed or something like that. You got to be ready.
Yeah, this weight class 141, led by the 2-time reigning national champion Jesse Mendez, Sergio Vega, one of the great stories of the early season with the Cowboys. Brock Hardy, Anthony Echemendia, CJ Capasto-Apen, those guys all ranked top 5. As the Tiger goes on bottom here in this third period, he trails at 4-1. Liam Neitzel and Nick O'Neill
Out of bounds action, we're neutral.
on net number 5, bottom left. O'Neill leading at 4-0. Jace Rhodes and Owen Ulson, Missouri. 3-1 match. Tiger with the lead. Inside 30 seconds, first period. That is on mat number 6. 4-2 match, 1:15 third period, riding time and on factor. Bailey got the first period takedown. Adding the escape in the second. Got any good stories, Jim, with anybody coming off a Christmas break that was maybe trying to avoid you?
Avoiding the scale, you mean? They avoided the scale when they're on break, and then you know, showed up and they avoided me. That didn't happen too many times. I don't know. Maybe my memory's not that good, but we just worked them out really hard when they came back. And I really felt that the first 3 or 4 weeks that you came back after Christmas break, you focus on conditioning and those types of things. And we mentioned this when we were talking earlier, but one of the things that I think you start to stress as a coach is your warm-up, right? You know, you've got basically 80 days for the national tournament or something like that. You've got a period of time that you got, you know, it's time for you to really concentrate on your body and how you feel every day in the training. So you have a kind of standard warm-up and get yourself ready, but when you're really training guys hard, you see that roll through attempt there by Hilton. But when you're training really hard,
we would also like to send
there's times when you get really exhausted doing sprint workout or heavy circuit training or doing, you know, hard red flag days, as they used to call it. You know, Coach Gabe calls hard wrestling as red flag days. Well,
go check out
the day after that is, well, how does your body respond to that? Your body keeps on giving you signals. Well, how can you continually keep your body at a high level, either by a good warm down from that practice that you were just in the day before, or getting yourself ready for that? And sometimes you begin to realize that, hey, I'm already warmed up, I'm ready to go. I may not need as much of a warm-up. Well, you're trying to, your body's giving you signs. You can get there, prepare yourself, but you have 80 opportunities from now until the national tournament to be able to get your body in a good state, to get yourself ready to compete and understand where you are to be at your maximum level when you show up in the first minute of the match.
Details.
Yeah, it really is. And it's so different for each guy sometimes, but you start with, you know, just paying attention to what you should be doing, you know, to get yourself ready, kind of a general warm-up, and then whatever they need to do to, you know, hey, my hamstrings are sore from sprinting here. What do I do? I go, well, you just got to spend a little bit more time and, you know, get your flow going, because you might have that same soreness at the national tournament the week before, but you know, you're just trying to get these guys even to compete, and just the mental toughness part of it. get them to go ahead and to feel all those things, so they actually, when they don't experience those things at the national tournament, they go, hey man, I feel great.
You've been here
I'm gonna
before.
go kick some butt.
Exactly.
You know, and getting them to go out there and have a good practice when they're training really hard. So that period of time that you have right now, really kind of the end of January, first part of February, and then you kind of keep the intensity high but shorter practices, and I found that worked out for our team anyway.
This is mat number 6, Jace Rhodes trailing 4-2.
And it's kind of funny, you know, it's, well, what made you an expert on this? Well, because I got coached by Chris Campbell. And he was the best. He was one of the most cerebral athletes, and a guy that, you know, had success well into his 30s at the international level. You know, world silver, bronze medalist in the Olympics at like 38, 39 years of age. That was no fluke. That was a man that had a great body to begin with, but took care of his body and those types of details. It was, you know, when he told me my sophomore year I could win a national championship, I was like, he was my guy.
You were believing. 4-2 match, 41 seconds left. One thing I can't see, Jim, is riding time down there on mat number 6.
And you're going to ask me to get it?
Missouri is about 30 seconds, so
not a factor.
Not a factor at this point. Double unders, it looks like, here for Rhodes. He's down by 2. He's got 15 seconds to work with.
You got to have something in here when you get all locked up there, working for double unders. An ankle pick wasn't there. You can jack him up a little higher. Maybe you can hit a foot sweep. Got to have some sort of upper body chase down technique. Not enough time.
4-2 final. Travis Long and Dawson Johnson scoreless 60 seconds into this first period. 141-pound matchup.
Action, guys, action.
Tyson Peach, South Dakota State. Cale Peterson of Iowa. That is on mat number 4. Scoreless first period. Peterson goes on bottom.
Peach puts that leg in right there. He's got a figure forward, and you can see how he's. This is a new technique that you're not new. I guess it's been around for a while. But see how he's reaching for the leg over the top of the arm and then reaching back for the crook of that knee, looking for a cradle as he has that leg in right there. So he'll come over here, reach for the hand, pull it back, and try to get his elbow in there, right, and to trap that arm and right there and try to get all the way back to the crook of the knee to set up that cradle.
How do you defend it on bottom?
Well, you got to keep your elbow in. Actually, you got to put more weight on your hand right now. See what that's the battle going on right now. He's playing with that arm. And it's just a better way of getting that knee close to the, if he can come worm back in. What you've done effectively, though, is that Peterson's not thinking about getting out from underneath, and see how his body got flared out right there. His knees got spread out wide. That was a good situation, and the referee basically bails him out with the stalemate. Bails Peterson out there.
Riding time already over 60 seconds for Peach.
Yeah, and so right now you know that right leg is going to come in, all right? So you know what you're trying to battle right here. And I always like to switch move. You just get your lower body moving, all right? That leg came in one more time. See the switch right there, all right? That's the way you think about
Are you
it.
wired right to the Iowa corner?
I don't know what they said or if they
That
saw
was
it,
right on cue.
yeah, but that's how you approach that. If somebody's going to attack something, what's the best way to defend it? First thing is get it moving, all right? If he wants basically put his leg in, all right, get the gap right there moving, and he got his hips moving on a switch. Sometimes it's not that complicated.
This is Scott Robertson and Zatavius Williams from North Dakota State. 5-3 match, final 10 seconds. Robertson does have that riding time locked up.
Nice job of shooting in, though, too, as well, and collecting, looks like more points.
An attack on a takedown at the end. And Robertson of Nebraska gets the decision.
Boy, you like to see that. Guy getting guy's a lead right there. Takedown but he was the one that was on his offense. He felt it and shot. Good work.
I believe Peterson, Jim, got a reversal and then
back
near
points.
fall points.
Yeah, he
Finishes
did.
the period on top.
Yeah.
Caution on Peterson. 5-2 match, third period.
Wrestling on mat number 2, 157 pounds, Diaz of South Dakota State. His opponent, Kale Rahamardi of UNI.
Peterson this season 10-0. He won the Luther Open and the Jim Cook Open.
Trying to hold a lead. No riding time for either guy here enough to make a difference. That explosive second period from a 0-0 match in the first for Peterson.
And I remember, Jim, last season, Peterson made the final of this tournament.
Red chooses neutral.
Maybe not the final. He wrestled 125. Now I'm getting confused. He began the season at 125 last year. I believe he was in this final last year. Lost to Drake Al at 133. Now, up to 141. So he's been a guy, too, that, at this time, a little over a year ago last year, was down at 125.
Yeah, he's got the advantage right now. We'll see what he tries to go ahead and lock up. And you can put your forearm right there into that floating rib. He doesn't. Oh, boy, he was in a great position to be able to seat belt him right there. That was a technique that two greats used, Bruce Kenseth and Chuck Yagler. Of course, Chuck a little bit older than Bruce, probably, they're both 150 pounders back then, and showed him how to use that. That's what the technique's been around the Iowa wrestling room a long time.
Peterson single leg, 15 seconds away from getting the W.
Elbow deep around that leg. Peterson doesn't want to get himself captured right there. Now you've got the lock. Now he's going to go into a leg cradle. How about that? Creates himself a better scramble if he can come around the back side.
And time
Runs
will
out of
run
time.
out. I don't know if I've ever really seen that before.
Well, he locked it up, and the only thing he had left was to go ahead and dive over the top. And a leg crater's usually not going to work in college, unless you're somebody like Randy Lewis who would throw something like that on up about 30 points. But it's a good win for Peterson. He had to battle there and scramble at the end.
Hangs on, gets his arm raised. Hawkeye with the win. Jordan Williams of Iowa is upcoming on mat number 3. Wyatt Duchateau of Minnesota, Evan Bublitz of Navy. That one just underway, 60 seconds in, scoreless match. Shane Sparks, Jim Gibbons, 2026 Soldier Salute here on Big Ten Plus. Wrestletown, USA, Extreme Arena. Kicking off 2026. A week from today, Jim, Big Ten Network, Rutgers, Penn State.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. Get our whole, we've got some, you and I got some great meets this year. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Penn State, Ohio State, Nebraska, Iowa, leading the way in the Big Ten.
With the duck under attempt. He's just getting more clutch. He's been clutch the last 2 years, winning those national titles in tough weight classes. But I tell you what, now you're starting to see him separate.
And at 125, you get Nick Bouzakis down to 125. He's as dangerous and strong as they come at that weight class. Ben Davino at 133. He's a hammer.
Yeah.
Brandon Cannon at 157. He's got to be one of the guys, Jim, that's made the biggest jumps. He was a Big Ten finalist last year, fell to Tyler Kasich in that Big Ten final. He's made big-time strides.
Harshla and Feldman look better.
Harshala's healthy, it seems.
Yeah, right, yeah. Up at 74, and then Feldman with some big wins already so far against Ferrari at the national duels. So
Dylan Fishback comes to Ohio State from North Carolina State. He's ranked 6th in the country at 184. You mentioned Feldman.
Yeah, Fishbach is one of those guys I saw at the, wrestling at NC State and watched him in the ACC championships and all that. He decides to come to Ohio State and really looks the part.
Good match right here, Jim, with Josh Edmond ranked 15th in the country, getting a really good test from Rhett Koenig of Minnesota. That one 5-5 third period. 120 remaining as they wrestle neutral.
You see that Koenig basically a lot of forward pressure there, staying in his stance, inside ties. Right there, might be able to get a stall call.
That was really good work there by him.
Yeah, 1 point takes a 1 point lead right now. Now with all that forward pressure and that work, you know that Edmond's going to be coming with his best shot. You want to be thinking about, straight on double, right? Follows through with it and actually does get it right.
They give him the points.
Yeah, I think that was a good call.
Josh Edmonds just got that extra gear. We've seen that many times with him. That straight on double lowers his levels, drives through. There's Kendrick Maple and Dom Bradley. Talked about Chris Campbell before, wrestling in his late 30s. Dom Bradley's been around a long, long time. I think he just retired maybe a year ago. Dom Bradley, going off of memory here, Jim, I think he won the U.S. Open. It's either last year or the year before. It all kind of runs together at this point, but he had a great career.
But my man Chris took about a decade and a half off, right?
Yeah, Chris Campbell's in his own.
Yeah, he's in his own zip code.
He's in his own mountain, exactly. Yeah. 8-7, 24 seconds left. Kendrick Maple, national champion at Oklahoma. Out of Kansas. Remember, the first time I saw him was Midlands. And we broadcast the Midlands on Big Ten Network years back.
This is Koenig's 8-7 score. Riding time, not a factor. Okay, what's he going to do what's his go-to shot? He's coming forward, a lot of forward pressure.
Edmond doing a nice job, just
down blocking pretty much. And good whip over right there. Caught him coming in high. Gets the tie he wants and runs him off the mat. That's you're looking good when you're shooting a guy off the mat with the lead.
That late double leg takedown on the edge for Josh Edmond. The difference, the Tiger prevails 8-7. Edmond over Koenig. Good scrap with those two. Mat number 4 at 149, Nikade Zinkin and Antonio Avila of Wyoming. And on mat number 3, we have Jordan Williams and Stephen Villalobos of Bellarmine. Nikade Zinkin, big-time recruit for Mark Manning in Nebraska. Here's Jordan Williams. Coming over to Iowa with his teammate Nasir Bailey from Arkansas Little Rock. Williams began his career at Oklahoma State. And when it comes to just raw talent, Jim, Jordan Williams, he's got a lot of it.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that, oh, beautiful little Metzger, but he hit it so good that he was able to roll through on it. All right, somebody's not feeling good here. Yeah, I think he hit that Metzger so well, I think he might have slammed his head.
Yeah, I believe it's going to be concussion protocol for Jordan Williams, and with concussions, it's unlimited time. Of course, safety of the athletes first and foremost. So let's go back to Avila and Zinkin.
Third period looks like they've traded escapes.
Zinkin in the blue singlet.
157 pounds, Jared Hill of Wyoming, Joey Showalter of North Carolina. 157 pounds, mat number 6.
One, 50 seconds left. So they are going to take Jordan Williams off the competition floor and further examine the Hawkeye. Inside of 30 seconds here. Straight on shot.
Working off that basically left-handed underhook is Zinkin after he stopped that shot, but it's probably going to come off of that with that counter right there. See, I put his forearm on the crook of the elbow there to get out of it.
Zinkin's got that Ridge Levitt singlet on, Jim, the national champ. When you put on the Ridge Levitt singlet, you better win, Jim.
Do something special anyway. Zinkin has not been able to get through that head-hands defense yet of Avila, so it's like you've got, I'm gonna situate here, but Avila's made some nice, straight on shots.
Zinkin wrestled in that dual meet against Oklahoma State, fell to Casey Swiderski 7-6. Zinkin 3-5 on the season. Sudden victory, 2 minutes on the clock.
Ooh, nice job right there. You can see that Avila is looking for his offense right now. He's the one that's hunting and pecking right now. He's going ahead and dropping back in there. Certainly looks like he's strong in these tie-up positions here, be able to get to what he wants to, and then clearing himself out of that position. An opportunity for Zinkin maybe to go off the elbow tie right there. Right there, gets a little slight angle. Some good wrestling going on.
Avila recently
whipping off that. That was 4 kind of initiated attempts there by Avila, going one direction, coming back the other way, and finishing with a shuck. But you got to be careful of, if you're him, is waiting for that slide by. Now he comes up into a leg. This is, he drops down to his knees. You want to keep your balance on a guy like this, right?
Oh, look at that from Zinkin. Great defense.
Yeah, this is basically Zinkin's opportunity to win the match.
Avila with a really good opportunity, and when he took that single leg shot, it drew a stall call on Zinkin.
And he's been the more active guy in overtime right now.
Zinkin really crafty, tough guy to score on. Down to 25 seconds.
Let's see if that activity took anything out of Avila. So he's slowing down a little bit. His pace has worked for him. His feet look like they're a little bit out of position, but really good with his tie-up here. A shot that wasn't there, but he squares up really nicely.
Jordan Williams just got a fall for Iowa. So basically, Jordan Williams turned into Superman when he took that little break. Comes out and gets the quick fall.
I wouldn't advise it, but, different path to victory.
That happened quick. I was so involved in this Avila Zinkin match, all of a sudden I look up and there's Jordan Williams. He's got his opponent on his back and gets the fall. So here we go, Jim, in these tiebreakers.
Yeah, that was just great job there by Zinkin basically coming back off that half Nelson. You know, sometimes in those tiebreaker situations, you just don't want to, you want to stay behind the hips for as long as you can and let the other guy make the move and the mistake. And
so Avila gets 10 seconds of riding time. So now Zinkin will go on bottom, or Avila rather, and he'll have, you know, wants to escape in 9 seconds.
You got to be careful to close those pockets down here. And what I'm talking about is so he doesn't let his leg in, right? Give him an easy ride. He closed the pocket down right there. Can he come out of it? Here's a mat return. See if he's got a roll there with him.
He's got that tight waist, Avila on his feet.
Yeah.
But now the riding time advantage in favor of Zinkin.
And that's the difference between the two wrestlers here. One has covered the hips pretty well all the way through. Now he's got to try to work for a reversal. Can he get a reversal? He's got his arm pulled across. He might, oh, he's getting the back points. Wow.
You don't see that very often in the tiebreakers. It's going to be 4 near fall points.
Well, Avila was doing what he needed to do. Look for the reversal in that situation. Exposed his shoulders in the process, but okay, Zinkin pretty crafty.
So Zinkin gets the 4-point near fall, and then Avila gets the reversal, I believe, to end it. So
yeah, right.
Kind of an interesting 30-second tiebreaker.
Yeah, that took a little bit out of Zinkin.
Soldier salutes. Let's go to mat number 1. That is Ryan Vigil from VMI and Davis Park from the Naval Academy. Vigil leading at 5-0, riding time over 60 seconds, controlling this match in the second period with 1:10 remaining in the frame. Joey Showalter of North Carolina. 9-3, up by 6 on Jared Hill, midway through the third period. Bryce Burkett and Sloan Swan. Swan, I'm assuming, with the escape. Short time, final seconds, second period. Bryce Hepner of North Carolina and Dominic Bambinelli of Missouri. Hepner scoring the first takedown. Bryce Hepner, remember him, Jim, from Ohio State.
Right.
Yep. Wrestled at St. Edward. Slides a leg in off the whistle.
Wasn't he part of that comeback that they had against Michigan one year? Was he?
Jim, I believe you are right.
Yeah. Remember that?
Yes.
When Feldman ended up beating at heavyweight, when he was a freshman.
He beat
was it Mason?
Davidson.
Oh, David, yeah.
Yes.
Davidson
from Michigan.
Yeah.
You're right. That was that crazy, crazy dual meet. I think you're right. I think Hepner fell behind big in that match and found a way to win.
Found a way to come back, and the Cavelli Center was just going bonkers.
I'm gonna look that one up a little bit. Good memory, Jim.
Yeah, well, I can remember those things, but
yeah, Bryce Hepner, really athletic, funky.
Yeah.
Good scrambler.
And of course, with competition where he's in his weight class here at 165, I mean, these guys, you just got to pay attention to you know, they say it's always the name on the front of the singlet that counts. More. Got to pay attention to the back of it, too.
Well, at 165, you have another Eagle from St. Edward in Patty Gallagher.
Yeah.
And he's made some good jumps. Hepner racing to a 7-0 lead, 1-1, final 40 seconds of regulation with Burkett and Swan. Believe, Jim, that would have been 2024, because last year we did that was at Saturday afternoon dual meets in Ann Arbor, because you and I did, was it Iowa, Penn State the night before? That was a great road trip that we had.
Yeah, we had a good time, yeah.
We went Penn State, Iowa on a Friday, I believe.
I remember that more than the match.
Yes, and then we went Michigan, Ohio State Saturday afternoon, and then drove to Chicago to do a match on Sunday.
Yeah.
In that early afternoon start Saturday in Ann Arbor. I got a lot of energy, but I was dragging a little bit that day. We drove all night.
Yeah. You stayed awake, though. I mean,
I
we're
did.
talking about I drove.
Well, you
right?
did the driving, which
I did
was
the
nice.
driving, right.
Swan gets a takedown late. And the Cowboy appears to be on his way to a 4-1 victory.
Tell you what, Wyoming doesn't shy away from the competition, do they? They show up. Mark Branch, big meet with Oklahoma State a while back. Penn State comes to town, and they've already wrestled them. Assuming that they went to Las Vegas, that's always good competition.
Evans and Motor 10-9. I love these big scores.
Yeah.
All kinds of offense, late second period. Of course, if you are Motor right here, 15 seconds, finish this period on top. Looking for a cradle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the casts across there. Evans gets the reversal. I mean,
what was he doing there, Jim?
I don't know. But the thing, there's no reason for him to, first of all, the cradle wasn't there. You stay behind the hips. No, I mean, I'm sure they'll have a
And he had riding time over a minute. I was just about to say, he's down by 1, but he's got the riding time over a minute. And as I say that, in the final 10 seconds, gives up the reversal. And now he's down 12-9.
Yeah.
Match tactics are so important.
Yeah. That's why you're here getting these reps, so you can learn these things for later. You know, you hope you know them ahead of time, but that's why these guys are here getting this experience.
Jim, you were correct. Bryce Hepner and Bo Mantanona.
Yeah, that's
Mantanona
right.
got out to a 7-0 lead on a takedown and a 4-point near fall. Hepner got an escape and a takedown to make it 7-4 after 3 minutes. So crazy, crazy first period. Just reading this here. Mantanona scored a reversal early in the second before a Hepner escape made it 9-5 Mantanona after the first 2 periods. Hepner got the reversal to open the third before Mantanona escape made it 10-7. Hepner added a late takedown and a 2-point near fall to win it 12-10.
Yeah.
And the final score in that dual meet was, what was it, 20-19?
Yeah, Feldman's win basically sealed the
Yes,
deal for him. Yeah.
And he scored that takedown late.
Right, yeah.
That was one of the more memorable dual meets because Michigan, that dual meet started at 125. Looking at the
but if you remember,
that box score here.
Feldman was in the down position and just worked his rear end off to get up, okay, if I ever recall. And then somehow that was an example of maybe wearing the guy out from the bottom position. It was a crazy night.
Shane Griffith at 174 beat Rocco Welsh 2-1. Ryder Agotsky got a tech fall 21-0 over Jaden Bullock. In those dual meets, it's every single thing matters. Get a look at the 4-box.
Because it didn't look good in the beginning.
It didn't.
And somebody got beat early in that meet. Who was it?
Augustino beat McCrone. And then Ragusin beat Bouzakis.
Yeah.
Mendez got a forfeit. That was huge as well. If I remember right, I mean,
Sergio.
was it Sergio Lemley?
Yeah, didn't wrestle him.
Austin Gomez and Dylan D'Amelio. Will Luwan, this is a shocker. Brace yourself for this one. One of the second set of tiebreakers. Will Luwan, love that guy.
I do too.
Will Luwan. That was always,
the calm before the slight breeze.
we always knew with Will Luwan, settle in.
You're going to hear a few stories.
Yes.
Yeah. And watching him in the national tournament, that dude was money, right?
He found a way to win. Will Luwan was a winner.
Yeah.
17-9, the scoreboard getting a good workout here. 60 seconds, third period. This is interesting, Jim. You don't see this very often. 17-9 Evans, but Motors got the riding time at nearly 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Manny Rojas and Clay Giddens. Good action here, 42nd, second period.
It's like Giddens in on a shot right there. He's got the leg shelved up really nicely.
Bryce Hepner with over 4 minutes of riding time, the major decision.
Back to the scramble here. Giddens should be able to score here, but he's got his wrist tied up, right? So what can you do in this situation? Maybe shelf it the other way, shelf it on your right leg. Burning a lot of clock here. The referee's going to call a quick stalemate here. Oh, actually, the period's over with.
Hepner ranked 17th in the country, coming from Ohio State, where they have Patty Gallagher ranked 19th, teammates at St. Edward. So much history with that program.
So looks like Rojas actually in the top position, or Giddens switches back into a good hard tight waist.
Situation here if you are Giddens, Jim, down by 4. Of course, you have the three-point takedown, but clearly looking for a turn, at least early on in this period.
Yeah, are those graphics correct here? I think Rojas, the black is the Iowa State singlet.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Okay, I got confused. There we go. I'm confused. Sorry about that.
Yeah, Iowa State now is part of their colors is black. So I know that upsets a lot of people here in the state.
Rojas on the score bug there, bottom left in green. He's got the green ankle bands on. He's got riding time now over 90 seconds. Been able to ride Giddens here in this third period. He's up 9-4 and has a wrist. Giddens head on the mat.
Wrestling on mat number 5, 174 pounds, Linda Nafshi, wrestling unattached, and Bo Lewis.
Iowa State's got some depth.
Yeah, they do. I think Coach Stresser's done a nice job of attracting a lot of, their wrestling room has got some, like you said, some depth, and he's done a great job there. I think Kevin Dresser's one of the hardest working wrestling coaches there is, and is, what we like about him, and you and I being we, is that just so communicative and transparent, and that's really kind of fun to be around.
Another one of those guys at this tournament is Brian Smith.
Yeah,
I haven't seen Brian. I'm not sure if he made the trip, but he's another guy at Missouri. Just does a phenomenal job there, and just great communicator as well. 4-1 score. Riding time a non-factor. 1:05 remaining in this third period. You look at those two last names, Jim, I'd like to buy a vowel.
E.
Piankowski and Rudebush.
Yeah, you'd be out of luck with an E on that one.
Wrestling on mat number 6.
Rudebush leading it by a takedown. Working a front headlock position, underhook left side.
Comes up into the double underhook position, but I'd like to see somebody get something going from here, you know. But one thing about, I think the rule set here today is in determining. We spend so much time on who's giving up ground and all that stuff. What you're blocking with the top of your head, that's an issue, right? That was never, you know, that was usually called for stalling. You dropped your head like that and blocked with the top of your head. That was, you know, considered stalling. And in this era of down blocking and you're really kind of avoiding action. And I'd like to see a little bit more stalling called, but particularly when you've got your rear end way out like that, you know. So, I mean, you're going to do it if it's part of your tactics here to go ahead and stay in the match. I understand that, but I also understand that you're kind of avoiding the action, not really wrestling through a position.
Hogan bowling on mat number 6, bottom right.
Just one more thought on that. You're gonna do it if they don't call it.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah,
sure.
You're going to do it. You're going to block with the top of your head if they're not going to call it, particularly, you know, if you have to lead like that in an unfamiliar position. But when that was called, they would get a guy to move his head up, and you'd see great action, great upper body action from that, body locks and throws and underarm spins and headlocks, and you can't do that when the guy's stuffing his head like that.
Clayton Whiting and Jacob Fissler scoreless after 35 seconds. Clayton Whiting from Oconto Falls, Wisconsin. Getting a look at the quad box. Bo Lewis, bottom left, with the lead for VMI.
And a reminder, wrestlers, coaches, and fans, we're going to roll right into championship round 2 and the first round of consolations. We already have some championship round 2 matches on deck. We're going to roll right in, and we are going to use first available.
No score after 3 minutes.
The championship round 2 and consolation round 1.
Quick escape there by Bowling.
Bowling is a 2-time Colorado State champ. Father wrestled at Dana College. His mother played softball at Dana College. I believe that's in Nebraska.
Yeah, it is.
It?
Yeah.
His mother played softball at Dana College and College of St. Mary.
Nice single leg attempt up there, upper right there by Clay Whiting. Minnesota is able to go ahead and collapse him down and get the points. You see this Minnesota-South Dakota State matchup right here, and how about South Dakota State going in there and getting a big win against the Gophers? That was one of the surprises of the year so far.
One thing, Jim, and you know this far more than I do, but being around this sport at the D1 level, you got to bring it every day. These guys are all good. They're all capable, and you take a couple of seconds off, and there are steep consequences.
I think that the South Dakota State program done a really good job of getting guys that they're up for the battle, you know. Seen that with North Dakota State, South Dakota State, you know.
Damian Hahn,
Doing a
national
great job
champ
there.
at Minnesota. Spent a long time at Cornell as an assistant. Got an opportunity after Chris Bona went to Wisconsin.
And
He's
then
been
Roger
great.
Kish was at North Dakota State and ends up going down to Oklahoma. We've been really impressed with him. Had that big win against Rutgers, and that was a meet that could have gone either way. I mean, but to go into Piscataway, beat the Scarlet Knights. That was a
Came down to heavyweight.
Yeah, it came down to heavyweight. Came down to also a really tight call.
Yes.
That could have gone the other way here for the Scarlet Knights. But just the competition itself was fun to see.
So Whiting gets the takedown and the ride out. Takes riding time near 60 seconds. And the Gopher will go on bottom.
Rutgers is one of those, if I was coaching, I would consider going to Rutgers every year. I would do that. You get my team you want to go into a place here where you're going to get yelled at, and the fan base is going to be passionate. I'd consider going every year. Right?
When you think about attendance,
because I could recruit New
for
Jersey
sure.
at the same time.
Absolutely.
Right? Go in there, get a couple high school guys, and say, "Hey, man, we're going to come back to your home every year. Come with us."
Iowa and Penn State typically 1-2 in attendance, and then it's Rutgers.
Yeah.
When it comes to the Big Ten, I think Rutgers typically a top 5-6 team in the country when it comes to attendance. Jersey Mike's Arena, we love going there. It's a great time. Lewis a 4-2 lead. Half a minute remaining here in this third period.
Lewis drops him on another nice low shot right there, coming out the back door. Now she just reaching for the ankles right there, trying to go ahead and freeze him up. He's got his hands on one set of ankles, and the referee's going to call stalemate there. Either that or it's the end of the period. Couldn't see it.
Into the hips of the Hawkeye. Bowling with a 2-point lead.
It's straight on shot, though. Not really anything that Bowling can't defend here. Just feeding him some hips there when he takes that shot. So 28 seconds left. He's working for a body lock here. Double underhooks right there. Now he's got his hands locked here, and kind of got to maybe look to finish it off in style here.
Has an underhook and a wrist. Bowling.
Yeah, he switched off of that just to stay safe.
And it will be a 4-2 final.
Yeah, look at that position that he was in.